was so busy over the years trying to get people to accept me, trying to get people to love me, until it was like, why aren't they accepting me? Why aren't they loving me? And it was because I truly did not love myself. I truly did not accept myself. And in realizing that, becoming self-aware that I had not accepted myself, it really made a big difference when it came down to relationships. Because when you're in a relationship, even though you may not say it, even though you may not talk about it, talk about self acceptance, talk about self love, the vibe that your energy gives off can be received by the person or persons that you're talking to, the person you're in a relationship with, and that in turn shows them how to treat you. Because if you don't love yourself enough, you can have a person who you love and they can treat you like crap because they feel the vibe of you not loving yourself, of you not accepting who you are. And that's something to me that is extremely important in self-confidence, because when when you accept yourself, you know who you are, you're standing in who you are. And that in itself breeds and breathes confidence. So tonight, as you can tell, we're going to be talking about self-acceptance. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen in Zoom, and I will upload this so that everybody will have the slides. They'll be able to look at it and see what I'm talking about throughout the slides tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about self-acceptance. Go big now. Okay. What is the meaning of self-acceptance? Self-acceptance is exactly what the name suggests: the state of complete acceptance of one's self, meaning exactly what it says, that you completely, utterly accept yourself in all of your curves, all of your zits, because I have one over here somewhere on my face, all of your pimples, all of your freckles, which up under the makeup, I have freckles, up under the moles, which I have a mole over here, and I think I also have one that's somewhere on my nose. Accept yourself in all of your flaws, accepting who you are, accepting the person that God made you, accepting the spirit that God gave you, your soul, your entire body, all 165 pounds of me, I accept and I love. And that's what complete acceptance is, just really living in your skin comfortably. That's what self-acceptance is. True self-acceptance is embracing who you are without any qualifications, conditions, or exceptions. That means that no matter what, you accept who you are. That no matter what happens, no matter what goes on, no matter what you're feeling, how you're feeling, what you're experiencing, you accept everything as it is. Self-acceptance, self-acceptance is an individual acceptance of all of his/her attributes, positive and negative. So that means that you just can't just accept just the positive things about yourself. That means you have to accept the negative things about yourself. Like when I told the story about my first epiphany, my first self-evaluation, where I thought I was this positive person, that I uplifted people and that I ministered to people whenever they needed help, they were going through a problem or anything that may have been, disrupting their life. I was that person to say, hey, I'm going to encourage you. I am going to lift you up. I'm going to help you feel better about yourself and help you through your problem. But guess what? I might have been helping them, but myself was jacked. I was the most negative person in the world in my journal. I was angry. I was mean. I was just not a nice person. And those were negative attributes about myself that at that point in my life, I didn't accept. And it wasn't until that day when I looked in my journal and I saw who I really was that I experienced the fact that, damn, Regal, you really jacked up. It's something ain't right. Sis, you got to get this right. So whenever self-acceptance comes, you have to accept all of you, all of your goodness, all of your attributes, all of your positive and your negatives, and accepting your attitudes, whether they're good or bad, accepting all of that. That's self-acceptance. It is not enough to simply embrace the valuable, and positive positive things about yourself. To embody true self-acceptance, you must you must also embrace the less desirable, the negative, and the ugly parts of yourself. Like I'm sure people have heard, hey, hi, Lovejoy, welcome to the live. I wasn't able to get in through Zoom, so I am going to post the Zoom recording in there. So just FYI, you will be able to get to see the slides. But accepting yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly. You got to accept the ugly parts of yourself. Like I had to accept the unforgiveness that I was walking in. I had to accept the anger that I had towards my mom, towards my family, towards people who hurt me. I had to accept that ugly part of me in order for me to really, really, really accept entirely who I was. And in doing so, it made me a better person. And then ways to accept yourself is to be kind to yourself. You know how we go through phases in our life where we don't like the way we look, and we might be like, oh, shoot, my legs are too fat. I don't like that. Or my hips are too wide. Oh, my arms are too big. Oh, I got the flab up under here. That ain't cute. That's being mean to yourself. I don't care what nobody says. They might be like, oh, that's just self-criticism. Self-criticism is not always good. It's not. And you got to be kind to yourself. You got to be kind to yourself. Pick out the positive things that you like about yourself. Pick out, like for me, I love my lips. I love that I have full lips. Now, when I have a makeup artist do my makeup, I have to specify that she doesn't, because a lot of makeup artists like to outline the lips and make your lips look more voluptuous. I don't need that. So I have to tell them, do not put the lip liner on the like the very tips of my lips to make my lips look fuller, because I don't need that. I know what I like and I know what looks good on me. I like my ears. I like that I don't have big old floppy Dumbo ears. Like I have, and they don't stick out because I have little bitty ears that, but I can hear everything. But they sit close to my head, and I can wear big, earrings, and they don't look funny to me. It's things like that. And it's like as I'm slimming down, I'm going back to the Regal that was in the military, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting my little waist is starting to come back. I love the fact that my waist is starting to come back. This morning when I looked in the mirror, just from me working out, I've been working out now for a good month and a half. I've been working out consistently every day, except for today. I've been working out, and I can actually see the difference. And I can see that now I'm starting to get, I had a 6-pack in the military, but now I got a 4-pack. And I can literally see the muscles in my stomach now are starting to come back. So all those things that I embraced, that I loved about myself, are now coming back because I'm taking care of myself. Be kind to yourself. Speak kind words. Speak kind affirmations. You can be your own worst enemy, but you need to get out of your way and start developing patience. That's another thing. Developing patience with yourself. When you become self-aware and you really start to see who you are for real, like for real, like when I looked in that book and I saw this person, I didn't even know who the heck that was on that paper. I was like, that ain't me. I'm not that negative person that I see on this piece of paper that's the angry black woman. That ain't me. But it was. And I had to be patient with myself. I had to start developing patience, and I had to go through my steps of really just learning how to help myself, taking myself to Books a Million or Barnes and Nobles and going to the self-help section and looking up books from Iyanla Vanzant and Oprah Winfrey and all those people who write self-help books and tell you how to really think positive, change your mindset. And later on in my years, I purchased books from Lisa Nichols and really went into a space of learning about myself so that I could be patient with who I am and then develop the person that I wanted to be. Be patient with yourself and accept your flaws. All of those flaws that I've talked about myself, I had to accept them. They ain't going nowhere. So why not? They're not going anywhere. They ain't going nowhere. So you might as well accept them. And if you don't like the flaws, work on them to fix them. Like for me, I didn't like my weight. I don't like the fact that I'm classified as a diabetic. To look at me, you would be like, she lying. She ain't no diabetic. She ain't nothing wrong with her. Diabetes runs in my family. My mother was a type 2 diabetic. My grandmother was a type 2 diabetic. It runs in my family. So when the doctor told me about 5 or 6 years ago that I was a diabetic, I looked at her and started crying. Because I was like, no, I don't want to fall in the same circle that my mom fell in and that my grandma fell in. And I really started working to get my weight down. And then life happens. You get hurt or something else drastic happens in your life and you lose your focus. And it's like now I'm finally back in a space to where I'm focused and I'm working on losing the weight. And once I get to a certain weight, I won't have to take the medicine anymore. I won't have to take a pill every day, a shot every night before I go to bed. I won't have to take those things. Those are things that are flaws in my life that I have accepted. But in accepting those flaws, I have determined in my mind that I am not going to let those flaws define me, meaning I'm going to eat right. And every once in a while, I'll have my little fun, but I am not going to let that fun be an everyday fun. But I'm going to work out. I'm going to drink plenty of water. Make sure I eat lots of vegetables. Make sure I eat things that are not sweet. And if I do have a sweet tooth, grab a handful of pecans, grab a handful of almonds, something that will take that sugar craving away. So I'm working on those flaws to change them so I can get to a better space with those flaws. Confront your fears. What are you afraid of? What is that thing? What is that thing that's showing false evidence appearing as real? What is it? What's that thing that's in your life that makes you afraid? We're so afraid to experience something unfamiliar that we allow ourselves to become stuck in what we know. Ooh, that was deep. I'm gonna read that again. We're so afraid to experience something unfamiliar that we allow ourselves to become stuck in what we know. Think about that. I want you to sit in that for a second. We're so afraid to experience something unfamiliar that we allow ourselves to become stuck in what we know. Meaning, you're so comfortable in your ish until you're afraid to step in something new, to step in something unfamiliar, to step in something unknown, to step in something where you don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and how long it's going to happen. Because you don't know those parameters, you sit in your comfortable. You sit in what you know. How's that working for you? How is sitting in what you know working for you? Is it increasing you? Is it up-leveling you? Or are you in the same space that you was a year ago? Are you in the same space that you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago? then if you are, then that thing ain't working for you. It's not working. It's important to take baby steps to create change. Can't create change overnight. It takes baby steps. Start by making a list about the things you're scared that scare you. What is it that scare you? What is it? What's the false evidence appearing real in your life? What is the false evidence appearing real in your life? Make a list of it. Start with one small thing, try to face it, and understand why it's not so scary. Start with one small thing, try to face it, and understand why it's not so scary. Because guess what? We only live once. And in this lifetime, we cannot allow our fears to, to keep us out of purpose. Fear is what smothers confidence. Fear is what smothers you from moving forward. Fear covers your potential. Fear smothers your potential. So any potential that you might have in you, if you're afraid to step out on faith, to move in that potential that you know you have, to exert that potential that you know you have, to move, to really take action on the potential that is resting inside of you, that is going to push you into purpose, so that you are doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing, that you're doing the thing that God destined you to do, whether it's God's Spirit, the Holy Spirit, if it was the Creator that predestined your purpose inside of you. If you allow fear to take over, then it will smother and kill your purpose. So you have to confront it and realize that fear is false evidence appearing real. It's not real. It's false. It's fake. It's fake evidence appearing real. And you just have to push through it. Take it one thing at a time. Don't try to accomplish it all at once. Don't overwhelm yourself. Take it one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Confront that thing and then examine why that is so scary, and really analyze what you're afraid of with that particular item. Analyze it. Why are you afraid? What's the scary thing about it? Like for me, for instance, when I first started to become a speaker, and I had my speaking coach, and I was telling her what I wanted to do and what I wanted to talk about and how I wanted to inspire people, and it was all the good things about my life. And she was like, "Regal, people don't care about what the good stuff is." I was like, "What you mean?" She was like, "You gotta talk about that thing that you don't want to talk about. You gotta talk about that thing that you don't want nobody to know." And I was like, no, I don't. She's like, "Yes, you do." And I was afraid. I was afraid. I was afraid to talk about the molestation. I was afraid to talk about how my mother didn't believe me when I told her what happened to me. I was afraid to talk about those dark parts of me. And she was like, once you talk about those dark parts of you, then you tell them about the happy stuff. Because you had to go through the valley. You had to go through that valley, that dark place, to get to that peak of happiness of where you are. And she said, people can't always identify with the happy. She said they identify with the low place and how you got to the happy. I had to get over my fear of people a fear of people looking at me, making me feel ashamed of what happened to me. I had to get over the fear of people judging me. I had to get over the fear of people thinking, well, maybe she did something to make that person do that to her. I had to get over the fear of what people would think about me. And it took a minute, it took a hot minute for me to get over that fear. But once I got over that fear, I don't care what people think. I don't care what they think because I know who I am. I am in my self acceptance space. And being in that self acceptance space really allows me to love myself, be all of who I'm supposed to be, and do it and move in confidence because I know my story. I know how it can help people. And facing my fears allowed me to boost my confidence. And then move into the next small thing, and so on and so on. So you tackle them one by one by one. You don't tackle them all at once. You just take a little bit at a time, and you'll get to that space of, okay, I'm good with this. I ain't afraid of it no more. I'm good with this. I can move through this, and I know it's going to be okay. Stay positive. Surround yourself with goodness. Download an app on your phone that will send you inspirational quotes on a daily basis. That's one way of just staying positive. Tell that little defeating voice inside your head to be quiet and that you refuse to go to that dark place. Refuse to go to the dark place. I'm not going there today. No, that's not on my agenda. That's not on my agenda to be happy. So I'm not going to that dark space that is trying to tell me that I need to go there and feel sorry for myself and wallow in my tears and just be there and just, just absorb all of that negative energy. No. Choose to be happy. Think yourself happy. Isn't that what Paul says? Hi, Nicole. Think yourself happy. That's one thing that helped me a lot when I was going through therapy, because I went through a year of therapy after all that stuff that happened with my family. It messed with my self-acceptance. It messed with me as a person, as a whole person. And there were a lot of days that I had to think myself happy. I had to think about all the good things that have happened in my life. I had to think about when I graduated and got my associate's degree and how that felt, that even though my family was not there to push me on and cheer me on, that I had members that were from my church that was in the audience rooting for me, screaming my name, hollering congratulations when I walked down that stage and I got my diploma. I had to you have to think yourself happy. With self-acceptance, stay positive. Think about those things that make you feel joy. Those things that have happened in your life that bring you to a space of, wow, that really feels good. Forgive. With self-acceptance, you have to forgive. I had to forgive myself for a lot of things. You can't grow without forgiveness. Forgiveness is, to me, one of the foundational tools, building bricks that you need in confidence. Because if you're walking around with that negative energy called unforgiveness, that's energy that you're spreading to other people. It might not seem like it, but unforgiveness, some people can hear it in your voice. Some people can hear it in the way you move, in the way you talk, in the way you act, in the way you carry yourself. Depending on how you carry yourself, you can carry yourself in the space of unforgiveness, like I was when I was reading that doggone journal of mine, saying all those things that I was like, oh God, you just walking in a state of unforgiveness. And when I got to a space of forgiveness, oh man, life changed. I was happy. I was joyful. I wasn't holding the weight of what people had done to me. See, forgiveness is not for everybody else. Forgiveness really isn't for the person that hurt you. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is release. Mm. Ah, forgiveness is release. Ooh, I felt that thing. I got goosebumps. Forgiveness is release, meaning it is releasing the thing that had you bound in your spirit. And when you release the thing that had you bound in your spirit, then you are free to live the life that you were always supposed to and meant to live, because now you're living in a state of forgiveness and not unforgiveness. So if you don't get anything else from me, think of forgiveness as a state of releasing the thing that had you bound. Because when you release all of that mess, when you release the anger, when you release the pain, when you just brush it off, when you just take the time to say, I no longer want to be angry. Ooh, I no longer want to be unhappy. I no longer want to hold a grudge against my sister or my brother or my aunt or my mother or my father. I no longer want to hold on to these things that have been holding me down for years. I want to live in a state of release. I want to live in a state of just being free. Forgiveness is freedom. That's, if you can get to a state of release, to be in a state of freedom, that is the best place that you can be. That is the best place, because you can't grow if you live in unforgiveness. You can't move forward if you live in unforgiveness. And the reason why is because if you're moving in a state of unforgiveness, every time someone does something that is close to the thing that initially hurt you, it will dredge back up that feeling of hurt and pain and anger. And then you're going to be looking at them like they hurt you like the other person that hurt you 20, 15, 20, 10, 5 years ago, or even 5 days ago. And they're going to be looking at you like, well, what did I do? When your anger is not with that person, but the person who hurt you years ago. So you got to let that thing go, because believe it or not, if you don't forgive, you're tied to the person that you're angry with. You're tied to the person that, hi Melissa, you're tied to the person who puts you in a state of unforgiveness. And you don't want to be tied to that person, because guess what? They done moved on with their life. They done moved on. Maybe they got married, had some children. You know, they maybe done went to school. Okay, that was a Southern accent. I'm from Florida, y'all. Forgiveness is release. Just think about it that way. I'm releasing myself from the hurt, from the pain, from the anger, from the person, from the thing that initially hurt me, so that I can move forward in my life, and that it does not hold me back from where I'm supposed to go in my purpose. It is a process, and it will always take time. Okay? Now I'm going to explain this. When I initially found out about who I really was back in 1998. I got out in 97. I moved back home in 98. I got out of the military in 97, and I moved back home in 98. And in 98, that's when I saw who I really was. And when I started to go through the process of forgiveness, it didn't happen overnight. Some things I was able to just let go, came right off of me. But then there were some things that were deeper that I had to work through. And what I would do is I created this forgiveness exercise for myself. And not even knowing, even though I had my self-help books, I hadn't read any about doing this. And this is something that God gave me to do. And what I would do is every morning when I got up for work, I had a pretty big bathroom back home in my apartment, and I would stare in the mirror and I would say, Mama, I forgive you for not believing me when I told you your boyfriend molested me. And I would say that thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I would look at myself dead in my eye and I would say it over and over again. And there would be days where I would be crying because it was so hard to say. It was hope because I still felt it. I still felt the hurt. I still felt the pain. I still felt the betrayal. I felt that thing. And I just would keep saying it. Mama, I forgive you for such and such. I forgive you for doing this. I forgive you. And in doing that, I would say it until I didn't feel the hurt anymore. I would say it till I didn't feel the pain anymore. I would say it till I didn't feel the anger anymore. And once I got to that point where I didn't feel those things anymore, I would move to the next thing. I would move to the next thing. I would move to the next person that I needed to forgive. And I would move to the next thing and the next thing until I got to a point that I had went through my list of things and people who I was angry with and I needed to forgive. Excuse me, something on my contact. And I needed to forgive. And I would continue that thing until I knew I had met my list. And that process took months. It didn't happen overnight. It took months. But I got to a space to where I was living in a state of forgiveness. I was happy with myself. I was happy with where my life was going. But it's a process. Forgive others for things they didn't mean to do and for things they didn't that meant to do. So forgive them for the things that they mean to do and for the things that they didn't mean to do, and forgive them for the things that they meant to do. Because sometimes you can be angry at somebody and they ain't even mean to hurt your feelings. What they said wasn't any intent to hurt you, but you hurt and you mad about that thing. Forgive them, let it go, and then forgive the ones who knew what they was doing, who knew what they were doing to hurt you. Forgive them for it. Forgive them for that thing because it's not worth it to hang on to it because it's just tying you to that situation to keep you from moving forward in purpose. Forgive others for things they didn't know they did. And there's some people that hurt you and they don't know that they hurt you. All of this literally is dealing with self-acceptance and confidence because when you're confident, you can't walk around in a state of unforgiveness. Because if you're trying to be confident, and for instance, if you're walking around, or to put it this way, if you're a speaker, say one of you young ladies are a speaker, and you get up on the stage and you getting ready to do your speech and you getting ready to inspire and transform people's lives and talk them out of their mess and talk them into something positive, and you get up there and you're about to get on stage, you got on stage, they introduced you and said all of your accolades and how much of a wonderful person you are and gave them your credentials and how educated you are in the subjects that you're about to talk to, and you walk out on that stage and you have that mic in hand and the person that hurt you is sitting in the front row. And you think to yourself, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm standing in front of all these people. And the one person that hurt me the worst is sitting on the front row. Boom, your confidence is zapped. No matter all of your accolades and all the education that you had, all the things that you know about that subject that you're about to talk about have left your brain because you have spotted the one thing that you ain't dealt with. The one thing that you haven't confronted, it could be because you were afraid to confront it. It could be that you're like, oh, I'm over that. I ain't even got to worry about it. I ain't even got to talk about that. I ain't even got to address it. But then, because you didn't address it, because you didn't talk about it, because you allowed fear to keep you from talking about it, now you're confronted with the thing that you're sitting in unforgiveness about on a stage with a mic, and you're frozen because you don't know what to do. That's an extreme example, but literally, that's what unforgiveness does to you. It will put you in a space to where when you're confronted with the thing that you did not deal with, it makes you in that exact moment that you don't want to deal with it, deal with it. You cannot live in a state of unforgiveness. I don't care if it was when it's something that happened to you when you was 5 years old and little Bobby slapped you upside your head and you had told little Bobby to stop doing that, but little Bobby still did it. And as you grew up through your years, you hated little Bobby, and you saw little Bobby when you was in kindergarten, you saw him when you was in middle school, you saw him when you was in, high school, all through elementary, middle school, high school, and then you done got grown, and you still mad at little Bobby because he slapped you on your head. But you never dealt with that anger and all of the frustration that he gave you. That thing will follow you through your life, and you have to get to a point where you address it. You have to address it. And when you address it and you come to terms with, this is not going to hurt me no more. I'm going to let this mess go. It's not doing nothing but holding me back. I'm going to release. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to release, and I'm going to move on so that I can live my life on purpose. Live my life on purpose. Live my life through purpose. So that between the time that I was born and the time that I leave this earth, that my dash speaks volumes of my life. But you have got to be in a state of forgiveness. You've got to be in a state of forgiveness to really be in a state of confidence. You have got to believe in yourself. If don't nobody else believe in you, believe in yourself. Believe that you could do whatever you set your mind to do. You are capable of accomplishing great things. Believe that. Know that. Feel that. Absorb that. Get that thing so deep in your spirit, in your soul, to where when somebody comes up to you and says, I can't do it, hot damn, I'm going to do whatever you say I can't do. When I graduated high school with a 1.7 GPA, and I told my mama I was going to college, she looked at me and said, what did you say? She gave me the side eye. Like, what did you say? I said, I'm going to college. She didn't say, well, how you going to pay for it? She didn't say, well, how you going to do this? Her words were, you're going to flunk out your first semester. I was like, I ain't cussed back then, but in my head, I can imagine now being a grown person. I was like, what the F you mean? But back then I didn't cuss. But I kind of gave her that look like, she was like, you're going to flunk out your first semester. Those words pushed me to say, I'm not flunking out. I said I was going to college. I'm going to college. First semester, I was on the president's list. I had straight A's. Know that you are capable of accomplishing great things. Know that. Believe that you can do anything because you can. Okay? I can do it because I can. I mean, really be that cocky about it. I can do it because I can. I can do it because I desire to. I can do it because I know what my capabilities are. I can do it. You are a strong and powerful being and can deal with any challenge that comes your way. If you think back over your life and you think of all the things that you've gone through, and you're still here, you're still here, you're still here. Hello, I'm going to say it again. You're still here. You're still here because you were able to overcome whatever obstacle that was, whatever challenge that was before you. You were able to get through it because you were strong, because you were a powerful being, because you were able to deal with the challenge that was set before you. That in itself breeds confidence. When you believe in yourself, knowing that you know that you know that you know that no matter what anybody say to you, you can do it. Regardless if they are with you, if they're with you or if they ain't with you, you still have the ability, the knowledge, the skill, and ability to do whatever you set your mind to do. Remember, you've already survived the worst things you've experienced in your life. Hello, what did I just say a second ago? Huh. You've already experienced it. You've already experienced the worst. Right now, we're going through a pandemic. Literally, the world is going through a pandemic. And we are surviving through it. We are making our way through it. We are still here through a pandemic that has literally taken, well, I think now close, if not close to 200,000 lives in America. And I think of 6 million across the world, but we're still here. We're surviving. We're surviving through the worst pandemic in history. Because at this point, they don't know when they're gonna get a virus. They keep saying, "Oh, we're gonna get a vaccine. We're gonna get a vaccine by the time of the election. We're gonna get a vaccine by the end of the year. We're gonna get a vaccine by the beginning of next year." If they come up with the vaccine, I ain't taking it. I work at NIH. It takes anywhere from 6 to 10 years to get a working viral vaccine. One that ain't gonna kill nobody. All we can do is take care of ourselves, build our immune system, survive through it, do the things that we need to do to take care of ourselves, whether it's eating healthier, taking more vitamins, making sure that we're looking up the herbs and things that God put on this earth naturally to strengthen our bodies, to make sure that we're okay, that we live through this thing by taking vitamin D, because a lot of Black people lack vitamin D because a lot of us don't go outside a lot of the times, and you get vitamin D from the sun. So you have to take vitamin D to supplement. And that's one of the things that they say that can really help you not to get the virus, because your body has the vitamin D in it if you take it every day. If you're vitamin D deficient, like I was vitamin D deficient for a while, my doctor put me on a prescription strength vitamin D, and I was on it for a few months, and now I'm fine. So I take an over-the-counter vitamin D. I don't take it every day, but I try to take it when I remember to take it. So you do things to really help you survive. We are survivors. The fact that we're living through this is one of the worst things that can happen to anybody in a lifetime. And we're living through it. We're experiencing it, but we're living through it. We're doing the things that we need to do to live. Don't give up no matter what, no matter how hard it gets. no matter what obstacle comes, no matter how bad it might seem, no matter how hard it might seem, don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the thing that you're trying to accomplish. Push through that thing. When you fall, you need to get back up and keep going. We know how that's that song, Donnie McClurkin, we fall down, but we get up. Yeah, you're going to fall down, but get back up. You know, you fall down, but you get back up. There's nothing that can stop you if you keep moving forward. It's in our failures, not our success, that we learn the most about ourselves. It's in our failures, not our success, that we learn the most about ourselves. Means that when you succeed at something, you already know what to do to succeed. But when you fail at something, you go back and you analyze that thing that you failed at. You go back and do, as I've said before, that after action report and say, where did I go wrong? Oh, okay, I went wrong here. Okay, I went wrong here. I even went wrong here. So what am I going to do different next time so that these 3 things that I've identified where I failed at, I'll succeed? That's how you learn yourself. You learn about yourself in those things that you may be failing at. Okay? That's how you learn yourself. You learn yourself through your failures. You learn because you go back and look at that thing and say, okay, I'm not going to do that next time. I'm not going to do this next time. But I'm going to do this, this, and this, and it's going to make it better, and I'm going to make it through the next time. Okay, the self-acceptance homework. So I have some self-acceptance affirmations that I'm going to place in the group, and this is your homework, is to take these affirmations, and in the morning when you get up, and normally when I do my affirmations, I do them in the morning while I'm in the bathroom, brushing my teeth, and I'll have either my flashcards or I will have the video that has the affirmations on it that I like to listen to, and I'll either play the video or I'll have the flashcards right in front of me so that I can read them to myself as I'm getting myself ready for the day. And they actually help to set my day. They actually help to set the tone of the day and how I'm going to feel for the rest of the day. So saying positive self-acceptance affirmations and any type of positive affirmations that you say to yourself in the morning literally helps set the tone of your day. So I'm going to put these in the group, and I would like for you guys to try it. And then after you've done the affirmations, if you could do a video in the group to say how the affirmations made you feel. And if you want to get more affirmations, self-acceptance affirmations, you can actually go online, hit Google, and put in, just type in self-acceptance affirmations, and literally hundreds of sites will pop up to where you can go and get different types of affirmations. Self-acceptance, you can get money affirmations, you can get wellness affirmations. There are all different types of categories and things that you can get as far as affirmations are concerned. So I will post these in the group. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a little review from last week on the mindset, fixed mindset and growth mindset. And then I'm going to go into the next subject, which is your big why. Okay, what is your big why, and why is it your big why? Those types of things. But I'm going to go over last week's mindset, fixed mindset, growth mindset. And I also wanted to come to you guys and let you guys know about the extension of this program, because what I'm giving you guys is just a short version. This course is actually 8 weeks long. And what I've done is I've developed several different subjects with this course. Let me stop sharing right now, and then I'll go back. And we can go over to, I can tell you more about the, what is going on my computer here? Okay. For a second there, I thought my battery was going out on my computer, and it is. Something's unplugged, but it's a time 45 minutes left. I'm good. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the programs that I have. The program is called Activate Your Confidence Frequency Masterclass. It is 8 weeks long. Now I have 3 different versions or 3 different packages for the actual course itself. And I want to talk about the subjects that I talk about in Activation Confidence Frequency so that you guys know what the course will entail. And I'm going to pull up everything right now so that I don't, if I have a brain fart, I'll have it right here in front of me. But the course is really good. It takes you out of the norm of what people would consider that can be considered making you feel confident, because to me confidence is a full 360-degree experience, and it's something that you do on an everyday basis. It's something that you do, you pick certain things to help you through your confidence daily. Is different techniques and things that I have used over the last 4 years that have really helped me move into a space of just really feeling confident and knowing who I am and knowing what I want to do, knowing my purpose, knowing how I'm going to help other women move into that space. And the course will entail talking about gratitude and how gratitude to perform a gratitude meditation that literally takes you into a space of joy every day. And when I first started studying about gratitude, I didn't realize how significant it is to feel gratitude about your life and where you are and what the things you're doing. Gratitude is steroids of being thankful. That's how I look at it. It's like literally you're on steroids when you have gratitude. Being thankful for your life and that's good, but it's like another level of thankfulness. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. And I teach you how to get to that level of gratitude, even with meditation. That's another module of the course. And in meditation is something that calms the mind, it calms the spirit, it really brings you into a space of peace, but in a way that where you can hear your inner voice and listen to God speak to your spirit and helping you mold yourself into the person that you want to be, into that confident person that you want to be. Because you always hear the pastor say meditate on the word, but never ever teach you how to meditate on the word. Never ever teach you what meditation is, the different types of meditation. There are hundreds and hundreds of types of meditation that I didn't know until I started researching it for myself to realize that, oh, this is what they were talking about. Oh, okay, now I understand. And meditation is something that really brings your spirit to a calm space that when all hell breaks loose, you're still in a state of calm. And I talk about affirmations and how affirmations help to change your way of thinking, how to use them in your life, and how they can really move you into a forward-thinking person. And then I also talk about frequency. I talk about what is frequency and how frequency affects your life and how everything that's around us has a frequency. Literally, it has a frequency, and people don't know about that. And that all kind of comes together into your energy. And then I go into vibration, and that deals with energy and raising your vibration, raising you to the next level. And then I talk about essential oils, things that help bring you out of a bad mood into a good mood, and how to use essential oils to bring those smells, the positive energy, the positive vibes into your space, and how having crystals, what are crystals? That's another module. And how crystals and their energy brings you joy, brings you balance, it grounds your foundation, and the different things, the different types of crystals to have in your life, because those are things that deal with your chakra energy, which is literally from your tailbone all the way to the top of your head. We have 7 main chakras. And I know in the Black community, we don't really talk about that because that's kind of like, oh, that's flower child. That's back in the 70s, flower child is, you know, you smoking weed. You don't smoke weed with chakras, but it's something to where if your energy is unbalanced, then your life is kind of unbalanced. So I teach you how to balance your chakras and teach you about the difference between your root chakra all the way up to your crown chakra. Okay, I know my battery's running low. It's like oh Lord, what is it at now? Okay, it's at 30 minutes. Okay, I'm good. So, and then I teach you chakra for beginners. I teach you about all your different chakra centers. There's actually hundreds of chakra centers throughout our body. Like people who like, you know how people get acupuncture, like the Chinese acupuncture, they use the chakra centers in your body to bring to remove pain from your body, to balance the energy in your body. And they take those little pins and they put them in specific spaces. They are literally hitting chakra points in your body. And I'm going to teach you chakra for beginners. And that's the 8 modules. And it's an 8-week course. And for someone who would like the 8-week course, you get the Facebook group, you get one-on-one coaching, and then you will also get a box from me, like full of different things to help you with vibrations, essential oils, crystals, and chakra, more information on chakra for beginners, helping with the affirmations, and also gratitude and meditation. You'll get a box from me full of those things. I pick out certain things to help you with getting started on your journey. And with this particular package, this is the biggest package is, and you get 8 weeks of one-on-one coaching with me. And that package is $15.97. The second package is an 8-week course. You get the Facebook group. You get 4 weeks of one-on-one coaching, and you also get all of the packages. You will get course materials along with it. And they will get a box, but it will be a smaller box of things that I give to that group who decides to go with that package, which is $12.97. And then the smallest package is the it has the 8-week course. You get the Facebook group, course materials, and then you get a small book. You don't get any one-on-one coaching in that particular package, and it is $9.97. So these prices will be good for the rest of this week, and that's the $15.97. And I will post this in the group as well, so people will know if they would like to take the 8-week course, and it will be live with me. We will do it once a week on Mondays, and then we can schedule your one-on-one coaching and work it around both of our schedules so that we can sit down and talk about whatever it is that you need coaching on, and we can sculpt out a coaching program the first day so that we can work towards what it is that you want to accomplish by the end of those 8 weeks. And then after that, if you want to do more one-on-one coaching, we can do that as well. So that's it for me. So tonight I'm going to say good night on everything that we did. I hope you guys enjoyed the self-acceptance part of this. For me, I love the self-acceptance because it took me, I would say, about when I started working on myself back in my early 30s, it took me probably about a good 5 years to just get comfortable with who I was becoming. And then by the time I hit 40, it was something clicked. Something just clicked on my 40s. It was like, I don't care what nobody say. I am who I am. They either accept me for who I am, or they can just go on about their business in their life. They can move on. I can move on, and we good. We ain't even got to talk no more. We ain't got to talk on the phone. You ain't even got to speak to me if you don't want to. That's just how comfortable I got in my skin. But when you do the work, it happens really quickly. So it can happen faster than what it took me. But for me, I was going through my ups and downs, just going through life, and just now that I'm at the age that I'm at now, I get it. Before I didn't quite get it. Now I get it. And it's like, okay, Regal, this is what you have to do to get A, B, C, and D. In order for you to get to F, this is what you got to do. And now that I know and I've set out the steps for me to do so, I'm able to get there a whole lot faster than what I was before. So learning all these things that I've learned over the last 4 years and putting it into a program and also putting it into my book here, I Choose Me, which as you can hear, it's a bunch of stuff on my desk right here. I Choose Me, to learning and putting it in this book, the steps literally helped me to become who I am. And it's rewarding when you've done the work. Because a lot of people think, oh, I just do a little bit and I'm good. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Iyanla Vanzant says you have to do the work. And sometimes you don't want to do the work, but if you don't do the work, you won't get to where you need to get to. But I guarantee you, if you do the work, the reward on the other side is joy, it's happiness, it's being comfortable in your skin, it's being confident in who you are. And then literally, people will start to notice that, wait a minute, she's a little bit more confident. She's a whole lot more calmer. Wow, she's even gotten nicer than what she was before. And when something crazy go off, she don't get all frazzled. People will literally start to see the change. Because I know for me at work, I've had people come up to me and say, Rika, what's going on? What did you do? What's going on different? I was like, nothing. I'm just me. And people will see the difference in how you are, how your life has changed, how you're just turning into this exude energy will just exude from you, because it's like, and then people just want to come to you and talk to you, and you will have a drawing of people just wanting to come and just be around you, just because your energy has shifted to such a positive level that no one can deny that you are shining, like literally glowing like a big ball of light. So that is it for tonight's class. Tomorrow we will go over the big why, but we will also go over the fixed mindset and growth mindset. We will do a review from last week, and then we'll go into the big why. So you guys have a great evening. And for those of you on Facebook, I will post the Zoom recording so you guys will be able to see the slides for yourself. And if you want to take notes from the slides, you guys will have the slides as well. So good night to everybody. You have a great day, or actually a great evening. Bye, everybody.